I really didn't want to talk about it, but after what happened today, I really feel I have to. It's about racism. It's about someone accusing me of being racist. It's a painfully loaded word. And I find it insulting that someone would even think of me in these terms. Someone who's never met me and who doesn't even know me. Let's begin at the beginning. If you know me a little bit, I hope you do, you know that I like to speak my mind. If I see something, I will often say something if I feel it is helpful. And as a former journalist, I'm trained to cut through layers of BS to get to the truth. And let's not kid ourselves, even in the wonderful voiceover world, not everything is hunky-dory or kosher. I'm not going to apologize for having a critical, inquisitive mind or for sharing my thoughts. Every community needs critical thinkers to point out flaws so they can be fixed. Even though some will see me as some arrogant, self-appointed know-it-all, my purpose is always to help and not to hurt. And if you don't believe me, we are done talking. As you may know, I've written some things about the Voice Arts Awards in the past few weeks that were not appreciated by its supporters, of which there are many. I have openly questioned why they cost so much money when the organizers of the One Voice Awards can do it for free. It's a legitimate question, because some people are thinking that the Voice Arts nominations are for sale. I'm not kidding. I've also shared that SOVAS, that's the organization behind the Voice Arts Awards, has only 2 out of 4 stars on the website Charity Navigator, based in part on the finding that there's no conflict of interest policy and very little transparency. These are facts and not matters of my personal opinion. Think about it this way. If you're running an international competition, shouldn't you at least have a conflict of interest policy? If you're trying to run a reputable charity, shouldn't you strive to get the highest rating possible, or is that too much to ask? This week it came to my attention that Rudy Gaskins, and he's one of the founding fathers of SOVAS and the awards, had posted a picture of Meryl Streep in a Voice Arts Awards frame, holding a glass of champagne. Rudy wrote, quote, "Somebody pinch me! Did we really toast on Zoom with Meryl Streep to celebrate her nomination for a Voice Arts Award?" End quote. Now a clever colleague of mine discovered that Meryl's picture that Rudy used was in fact a screenshot from an online event honoring Stephen Sondheim at the height of the pandemic, so months and months and months ago. So assuming the suggested Zoom meeting with Rudy never took place, why would Rudy Gaskins make it look like it did? It's misleading, to say the least. I think it's utter BS. And after I shared this information on the Nether Voice Facebook page and people saw what Rudy did, he removed the post, but I think it's still up on his wife's LinkedIn account. Listen, as a journalist, I have discovered that sharing embarrassing and uncomfortable facts doesn't make everyone happy. And here's what one of my commentators wrote on my Facebook page, quote, "I have noticed that you have an obvious vendetta against SOVAS. Really, did Rudy ever do something to you? Or so you just have a disdain for black people? It's just so non-stop with you, and I, for one, can't figure it out. From an earlier statement you made, I take it that you don't know Rudy, have never met him. So what did he do to you? You troll around the web like you some kind of crusader or sheriff, yet what you do really provide except negativity and divisiveness. I see your true colors, green with envy and red with hatred. Lucky for you, your followers seem to like that about you." End quote. Now let me be very clear. I have some observations and I have some questions about the Voice Arts Awards, and I'm not the only one. I just happen to write them down in a popular blog, but that doesn't mean I have an obvious vendetta against SOVAS. A lot of colleagues like SOVAS, and to each his or her own. I really think we need to end this whole idea that being critical is the same as being negative or divisive. Let's be honest, no person or organization is perfect. I'm not perfect. There's always room for improvement. Pointing out the weaknesses can only make things stronger, don't you think? I never made my critique of the Voice Arts Awards personal until Rudy Gaskins used Meryl Streep's picture to suggest he had had a Zoom meeting with her. Does this mean that I have a disdain for black people? What does race have to do with it? I'm white and Rudy is black. So what? I just came back from volunteering at the old stone house. That's a 4-story building down the road from where I live that was built by Alexander Twilight. He was a preacher, a teacher, and a politician. He was also the first African American ever elected to a state legislature before the Civil War. The old stone house is a place where people of all races and religions come together to learn about Alexander Twilight, social justice, inclusivity, and environmental action. Behind me is a picture of the old stone house, right here. As the resident photographer, I help with the promotion and fundraising. And this morning I helped stuff about 1,000 envelopes that go to donors so we can keep this wonderful place open. Listen, people can always come to me if they can prove my facts are false, and I'll be happy to revise my blogs. But don't ever play the race card, because the information in my article makes you uncomfortable, especially if you have no idea who I am or what my motives are.